What's up, people? How you doing? Welcome to the Naked Ego podcast, a place where we talk about conversations around men. This is a space where we have authentic and vulnerable conversations. So today we have a guest, a special guest, a friend of mine, somebody I've known for quite some time. On those days when I used to go to the gym, I met him through the gym, but we extended the friendship outside the gym and we decided doing stuff. Welcome to the podcast, Edgar Jamlek.
Thank you, man.
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Uh-huh.
Been a long day.
Yeah.
Been a long week. Been a very long week.
What's happening, man?
I'm good. No, just too many things to do.
Yeah.
My mom has a one-bedroom flat on Gong Road. So we're sorting out repairs because the tenant that was there before left. So the new tenant was coming in, so we sorted out repairs. Now dealing with fundis is another thing.
Are you the only son?
I'm the only son.
Oh,
Firstborn and the only boy.
Bro, I come from a family of eight.
Eight
Kids. Eight
And you're number what?
kids. I'm the third last.
Wow.
8 kids and 3 boys.
8. Wow.
Yeah.
5 girls, 3 boys.
Yes, 5 girls, 3 boys. So it's actually
The house was not noisy.
maybe,
And I mean, I say to the in a light touch.
maybe I think the logical way to explain that is probably it was too noisy until we got used to it.
Aha. So that now when you go to quiet places,
You're like, what's happening?
what's going
here?
on here? I should be expecting some noise.
Yeah, but it was an interesting family. Like, you grow up and then your siblings are way older.
Yes.
And you look up to them like they're actually age mates of your uncles and aunties.
Yeah.
But I actually celebrate my folks for actually having the guts to raise 8 kids.
That's not easy, man.
8 kids, yeah.
That's definitely not easy.
Not easy. So tell us about yourself. So for people who don't know who Jamlek is, tell us who you are, man.
I'm a public policy analyst by training. That's what I did for my master's.
Yeah.
And on the side, I am a mental health advocate.
Yeah.
This I started in 2015. 2017. 2015, I had gotten my master's degree. 2017 is when I started my mental health advocacy. And all just started like a joke, just having a conversation with a friend. Actually, a friend of a friend. And we were chatting just about, mental health. This is a fellow man.
Yes.
And I met him for the first time. And we had a conversation just about what we've both been through. Our stories seemed very similar.
Yeah.
And then, he told me what he did in terms of coming out with his story.
Yeah.
And I went home that night. I sat on it, and I just pulled out my phone and I started typing a status update on Facebook.
Yes.
And that I pressed. It took some time, of course. I had to think it through. Have I said the right thing? Am I really doing this? Yes. Questioning so many things. I hit post, and that's how it started.
Thank you, man. Thank you for that. Like, mental health, especially for men, it's a very sensitive subject.
Yes.
And it's a very sensitive subject in the sense that, like, more than 80% of men actually don't understand what it is. When you talk about mental health, people know the term mental health, and they know the term mental health is related to things like depression, anxiety, but they really don't know what it is. Like, what is mental health? Yeah. So I think for me personally, for people who know my story, after losing my leg, that's the first time I actually had an interaction with mental health, like interaction in terms of people telling you what depression sounds and feels like, and then you relating to what you feel at the moment. That was my first experience with mental health.
Okay.
Before, I was the typical guy who actually just goes around doing the normal stuff. Like, you act strong, you be strong, a man. You don't subscribe to these other things. So I was that type of man up until this time when I've lost my leg. Things like, it's a world that even me myself, I didn't really understand.
Yeah.
And it was so confusing.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, keeping to myself, acting tough, trying to do things to myself that was actually doing damage to myself up until later on when I actually got diagnosed.
Okay.
So, do you remember how we met?
We met at Trojan.
I remember we met at Trojan.
We met at Trojan.
Yeah.
We met at Trojan.
Uh-huh.
I think also at the time I knew Joe.
Yeah, Joe. You knew Joe before
I knew you.
Before you knew me, yeah.
I knew
So you
Joe.
knew me.
But I also
through
knew Joe because of the gym.
Ah.
So it's just, he was that familiar face that I used to
Uh-huh.
see around the gym when I was there.
Ah.
And then he knew my cousin Shazi.
Ah, yes.
So
yes,
through Shazi is when
yes.
I got to now, like, talk to Joe, and then by extension, because you guys used to come to the gym together, then that's how I got to know you. But I think we probably talked more
Outside.
post,
Yes.
not even the gym actually, post your accident.
Yes, exactly.
That's, I think, when we started talking a lot more often. And then now when we all just left Trojan,
Yes.
we still continued here and there. Of
Yes.
course, we engaged on Instagram.
Yes, and do you actually know why we started talking more post the accident? I think before the accident, for me, I actually didn't know. I didn't really know and understand the difference between acquaintances and friends.
And friends, yes.
So for me, I was that type of guy who, this is my friend, this is my buddy.
This is my boy.
Yeah, because I think when things are working out for you,
Yes.
it's so hard to actually differentiate those two things.
That's true.
Yes, it's so hard to actually get to know and understand somebody who will stand by you, somebody who is willing to go and protect you up until things have to start going haywire for you to actually understand people who like care and love for you.
Yes.
And that was after my accident. Because for me, before the accident, I was that cool guy. Life was awesome. I was making money. Anything I wanted, I had access to. I had friends. I had attention from the women I liked. Like I could take, like everything
was working out.
Was working out.
Yeah.
And then after the accident, that's
reality.
That's when things
changed.
Yes, things changed.
Yeah.
So today I just wanted us to actually connect,
Okay.
to use this space to actually connect. And the main reason why we are here actually is basically to unwrap this man, who is a man, like to unwrap this topic around men and actually to understand who is a man to you and actually what does a man mean to me.
Yes.
So if somebody would ask you, who is a man to you, how would you describe a man?
A man to me, I mean, genetically, of course, you know, there's how we look.
Yeah.
You know, how we look, how we sound.
Yes.
But a man to me is a human being.
Yeah.
Above anything, before anything else,
Yeah.
a man is a human being. A human being who was created with emotions.
Yeah.
Created with a certain mindset about life.
Yeah.
But the mindset that we have been conditioned
Yeah.
to believe, to nurture, to practice,
Yes.
I have come to see is not it. It is it's different. You know, growing up, what it was for us, whether it was the expectations from fellow men, now be it like your elder brothers, elder male cousins,
Your
uncles, father, grandfather, and then male friends as well. You know, what was expected was that you know a man is someone who is meant to protect. When you get to a certain age, you provide.
Yes.
When you get to a certain age, you know, you become a leader, or in your community, in your home, in your place of work.
Yeah.
And then now, whenever you get into any situation where challenges are before you, you just coast through them.
True.
You know, and coasting through them is what was labeled as being a man. It was called being tough.
Yes.
It's called, you know, this in line of adversity.
True.
You just going through it.
Yeah.
Is what was known as you've coped well.
Yes.
You've done well. you are championed and cheered by your fellow men, and you just sort of continue with life.
Yeah. And actually, you would be celebrated more if you don't get to actually, if you go through it and you don't share any vulnerability, in the sense that it really bothered me, people would celebrate you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The moment you shared
Yeah.
that you had, that time, Bill, when I was doing this at work,
yeah.
I was really stressed.
Yeah.
That showed weakness. Most times they're like, why are you even talking about it?
Yeah.
Just face it, go through it, move on.
You're a man.
And acknowledge it, but just move on
Yeah.
from it, and sometimes I've also seen something that probably would get men being cheered is whenever you are faced with a situation where you're sort of shaken up.
Yes.
Your response in manners of, let's say, anger would be like, you're the guy. Because there's also this thing of, for you to pass on a point, people have to fear you.
Exactly.
So you have to say it in a certain way, in a certain tone.
Yeah. You have to be respected.
And sometimes also not in private. You say it in front of others, so that you are the person who's being told off. Is being made an example of amongst the people, the audience that are watching.
Anybody else who attempts such, this is an example.
This is the example. So if you don't want to get the dress down, then don't come like this person has come. And then I think also another thing is when you have some level of unapproachability to you.
Yes.
So for example, it's a work setting. And I mean, you're, let's say, the manager, supervisor, CEO, MD, whatever the case may be. From time to time in a work environment, your colleagues, the people who work for you, will need clarification on very many things, be it certain documents that are being proofread, be it presentations, be it just work politics and whatnot. But there's that thing for, hey, don't go to Bill's office, you know how Bill is. You know how Bill is. And that thing of how Bill is was termed as, that's the guy.
That's credit for a man.
That's credit for a man, But
for a man.
Of course, I grew up, and I grew up, I think, being exposed to certain things, exposed to certain settings, people, and I got to see things differently. But now it was okay, you see things differently, but the question now that stays or sticks is, what do I do? How do what is this first all about? And what can I do about it? There's still people who believe that they need to continue with that other way of doing things, and then for whatever reason that they have. But personal to me as Edgar, I've got to see it a lot differently, and I'm still trying to navigate that space till today. Be it with my younger sister, be it with my mom, be it with my dad, be it with friends, be it when I'm trying to navigate intimate relationships as well. Because I think we've come to a point where in 2021, society is demanding a lot different from us as men. People are like, now this macho-ness, this rigidity, this unapproachability, it's not desirable anymore. Because growing up, like for me, I was telling a buddy of mine not too long ago, like in high school, for example. So for me, as I'm very in tune with my emotions. I feel things and I feel deeply about stuff. But those days, that was looked at very weirdly. I was looked at very weirdly for being that type of guy. So what then happened was even the ladies around would say, you're too soft, you're too soft. So this is not even from men, but it's from women as well.
You never used to get dates.
No way, man. I was a very shy guy. I used to keep to myself a lot. I didn't know how to approach girls.
So you were that weird guy.
I was that weird guy. Weird guy in the corner, just chill, not doing much. So I used to live through other people. And for them now, I'd see the men who are around, who are, I guess, termed as bad boys, rough around the edges a bit. Those were the guys who women were really attracted to those days.
My cousin.
So us guys sitting in the corner and we're like, wow, man, it must be nice with that guy. It must be nice to be that guy. And they had their own little clique. So even the times maybe you get a chance to hang with them.
To be part of anything that.
And I tried, but it wasn't me, you know. Guys would try and tell me, you know, Edgar, man, just don't be soft. Sometimes just be hard. You know, women will love you a little bit more. People will respect you. People will listen to you. People will want to now be around you.
Yeah.
But I realized, you know, it was just not me.
It's so interesting. What you've said made me actually remember my experience, I think, in high school. Yeah, in high school. Because I remember I lost my girlfriend at that time to my cousin. Why? He was macho, he was a bad boy, he never used to actually smile to these women. And it made me actually wonder, because for me I was like a nice guy, easy, polite. I wanted to treat you nice. Like for me, when I was next to her, I wanted to treat her nice and all that.
Yeah.
She left, she just passed that and then went to my cousin. And actually that had an influence on me at that time, because I remember at that time I tried to embody some of these features that came with a bad boy.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't talk to them nicely. Oh, you don't check up on them every day. Oh, when they call and they reach out, don't reach out or respond immediately. So you see, some of these things, I actually picked them up at that time. And that was me trying to subscribe to the environment.
Yes.
Because environment was created by the men before us. And then my cousin was just too good at adjusting. Maybe he was good at adjusting, or naturally he was just a bad boy. I've never known, I've never gotten to actually understand that. And I think up until now, we've never had conversation, like intimate conversation with my cousin to really understand. But I know in his adulthood, he actually struggled with getting to, especially now he has a kid and he has not really a wife, but a partner.
Okay.
He struggles to actually connect with the partner.
The partner.
Yes.
And then now bring in the kid.
The kid now,
because the kid needs connection as well.
Yes, the kid also needs that. Yes. And now what you said actually made me just see and actually try to see how we men can actually mislead each other, either subconsciously without even knowing.
Yes. Oh man.
Yeah. So that was a man to you, and now we are in 2021.
Yes.
You've gone through much of your youth. Now you're an adult. What would you describe as a man to be, like the ideal of a man? It doesn't mean it's who you are, but the ideal of a man. For me, I always believe that even the ideal of a man to me is what I'm working towards. Like I haven't achieved.
Yes.
So what is the ideal of a man to you?
I like how you've put it.
Yeah.
Something you continuously work
Yes,
towards.
you can never
achieve it all.
Yeah, you can never say
never
now I'm the guy. You
can
can't.
never achieve it all.
Yes.
So I think maybe I'll address it in categories.
Yes.
Yeah? So in a setting of friendship,
Yes.
my idealistic man is someone who is very present with his friendships.
Thank you.
And when I mean by presence in friendship, it's not let's meet on Friday at the local.
No.
It's even on Wednesday, I could call you and tell you, let's meet at Java for coffee.
Yes.
And let's talk.
Yeah.
And when I'm talking to you, you know, or rather when we are talking, we're talking about life. We're talking about, you know, work. What is it like to work in your place of work or your place of business?
Yes.
How is it for you in your intimate relationships if they're there?
Yeah.
If they're not there, why are they not there? What's the struggle going on in that sector? If you, let's say, even have settled down, you have a wife, you have kids or a kid, what is it like to be in a marriage setup? You know, in terms of whenever my friends would say they're in a bad place or they're feeling a bit down, I think also it's me being very present with them. It's me finding out what their needs are at that time.
Yes, yes, yes.
Is it words of affirmation? Is it me coming and just sitting there and we sit in silence?
Yes.
Is it maybe you are not able to do certain responsibilities that you
Yes,
have
and
you want assistance in that?
Yes.
You know, is it me coming to get you to to come to your house and make sure that you actually went to the shower that morning and you opened your curtains and you opened your windows,
And you've eaten.
and you've eaten.
Yeah.
Because that's big. That's, so that's for, I guess, the friendships,
Yeah.
and then also calling each other.
Yeah.
Calling each other often. Calling each
Checking
other
out.
often. Not the ones in 3-6 months.
Yeah, yeah.
And the only time maybe you're calling each other weekly is just for a plan.
Yes. Or when you need help.
Or when you need help. Or when you need a soft loan.
Yeah.
That's for the friendship part.
Yeah.
For relationships, I think it's now vulnerability, man. If it's something that I keep hearing very often, it's vulnerability.
Yeah.
Vulnerability to speak your mind,
Yes.
to speak your heart,
Yeah.
so that people can understand you better. People can relate with you better. Another thing is, for me, an idealistic man is someone who respects women.
True. Before you even go to a person who respects women, people hear about this term vulnerability and they don't really understand what vulnerability is. I remember there's a time I shared on IG what vulnerability should feel like. Vulnerability is all about you allowing other people to come in your space when it's dirty. Like when you're struggling.
Not
You
when
allow
it's
these
clean.
people to come, whether, I think one of the common question is, what if they use that against me? Allow them to use that against you. That is an opportunity for you to know those people who will stick by you and those
who
people
will
who
abandon
care
you.
for you,
Yes.
and those people who are there to actually see you win, versus those people who are just there for convenience sake. So
I agree.
we as men, we shouldn't wait to be vulnerable with people when everything is working out. No, we should be vulnerable with other men when we are struggling.
That's true.
That's an opportunity. And actually, sometimes I think we've been conditioned for a long time to actually be able to survive masking our emotions and masking everything, that actually sometimes you can be next to a man who can't really know what you're going through. So that man might be willing to help you,
But he doesn't know.
but he doesn't know
He
how.
doesn't know how, because he doesn't even know a thing.
Yes, so you need to allow that man that space to either help you or mess you up.
Yes.
And that's just an opportunity for you to know people who can stick by you.
That's true. That's true.
Continue,
That's
man.
true. So
You
get
said
to
a man who respects,
Man who respects
women.
women.
Yeah.
I think we need to acknowledge the fact that majority of the time when we talk about gender-based violence, for example,
Yes.
it is, chances are that it is a man who's harmed a woman in one way or another, either verbally, physically, mentally, or all three.
Yes.
And for me, I've gotten to a point where I don't have space for men who don't respect women, who don't treat women right. Because, it's not even, I think the respect should not come for the fact that you have a mother, you have a sister, you have aunties or female cousins. It should just because it's the right thing to do.
Yes, it's the right thing to do.
And you'd find that sometimes even for what I've just said, there will be men who will be like, this guy is just trying to get points and stuff like that. Because you find that a lot of men who now go down that direction, and they're like, this guy is just saying things because there's a camera in front of him. And he's saying, so he's trying to get some points and get women to be attracted to him, to slide into his DM,
Can
say some things.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
There's a term that is somewhere in one of these books that I read that says you can't know if you go in a space where the house is stinking, if you all your life you've been living in like a dustbin place. If your environment has been stinking all along, you can't really go to a new place that stinks and be able to say it stinks, because that's a norm for you. For that
It's
man,
already, the stench is already there.
Yes, it's already there.
It's permanent.
Like, for you, you're used to things stinking. So if you go to a space that stinks, you can't really know it's
You can't
stinking.
know.
It's
Yeah,
a normal
'cause
thing.
you're used to the stage.
You're used to that state. And for men who will go out there and say, oh, these guys are looking for points. Oh, what the hell is this guy saying? That guy has never been in spaces that you have been as a man. Probably that man has never been broken enough. In one of these books by, is this the subtle art of not giving? Yes.
I know that book.
He says that if you see somebody who has more experience than you in one topic or another, probably that guy has gone through a great deal of suffering and torture for him to be better than who you are.
Yes.
So you can't just sit and say, these guys are saying nothing, they're saying nonsense.
Yeah.
There is something to it. If it doesn't make sense to you, probably you only have a choice. You either walk away from it, or you can decide to actually challenge yourself, because we don't know everything.
Let me know this new thing. Yeah,
Yes, let me try and understand this new thing.
Yes.
So yeah,
So there's that. I don't have space
for
and
guys who
now I think women also have to get to a point where we have to give women space to talk about what they've been through, even if it was in the hands of another man. So for example, the setting is I am trying to get to know a certain girl.
Yeah.
And, we've gone somewhere.
Yes.
And something happens and she gets triggered.
Yeah.
I have to give her that safe space
Yeah.
to speak about
Yes.
what it is that has triggered her.
Yes.
And then we, get to go through that process with her. True, because I can't expect to want to, date her, go on dates, expect to have a happy mood and whatnot.
No.
There are times when things are not right.
True.
So we have to be very cognizant of the fact that there are times when we'll go to a certain space, and that space will remind her of someone. She'll maybe see a certain thing, and it'll remind her of someone. It'll trigger an experience, it'll trigger a memory.
Yeah.
And we have to be, we have to be acknowledging of this, and we have to give allowance for this to take place, because the cases are a lot more. I can't say they're more common now. They're just being put on the limelight now.
Yeah.
They've been there for a long time.
Technology now bringing everything to light.
Everything to light, and it's being brought to, as close as just your home. You don't need to leave your house to go and get this news.
Yes, exactly.
So we don't have the luxury to get tired of listening. All in the name of she's always just complaining.
No.
She's not complaining, she's trying to tell you something.
Yes, and I think also both men and women, we need to be gracious enough to be okay and to be willing to go through the healing journey with somebody.
Yes.
This is one thing that I've discovered. Edgar, in 2021, you can just never walk into a woman who is perfect. She's healed from all her trauma. She has her shit figured out. Like, she has everything in the right place. It's so hard to find that in 2021.
It's hard.
Even for a man, it's so hard. It's so hard for a man to find that in a woman, and it's so hard for a woman to find that in a man.
Yeah.
So when you find this person that you really like, you need to be willing to walk through the healing journey with them.
Yes.
They need to be vulnerable enough to explain and to bring you in and to tell you, this is my problem. This is what I've gone through. Yes. You need to be willing to walk with them.
Yes.
So when you talk about we need to allow women to, for example, you've gone out with her and then something has triggered something, we need to allow them to speak. It's so important for a relationship to just allow her to express herself. You listen to her. Use this as an opportunity to actually allow her to express herself.
Yeah.
Probably she comes from an environment where people don't express themselves.
There you go. Pale tu pombe kidogo na chakula. Done. Pombe na chakula, done. But have you ever found it weird sometimes, yeah? With men, you may not be able to open up to your partner.
Yes.
But you have a female friend. She knows everything.
Yes.
You won't tell your partner,
Yeah.
but you have a female friend, and she'll know
Everything.
about your life.
Me-
I've never...
Me,
Because I know I used to do it a long time. I used to do it for as long as I used to do it for a long time. Before, I tried to change things around. And even now, there's still, even
Yes,
in my inner circle, like there's my boy who for sure if I was to get married tomorrow,
Yes.
he'd be my best man. But when it comes to like emotions,
Yes.
we don't go, I mean, we'll talk,
Yes, but
but it's very shallow. And you know me, I always tell guys like between, I'm like, you know, me kati yetu, mi ni ule mse anaendanga deep.
yes.
But you see, you can't be the only one. It gets exhausting.
Yes,
and then
it's
also
tiring.
sometimes it gets tiring and you get very frustrated.
True.
So it brings about a danger of, you know, like, what's the point of talking to Eddie if all the time I talk to him, he doesn't give me his side of things that deep.
Yes.
So it gets you to start, you know what, let me not even say anything at all. So it silences you.
If let me try and explain the you not being able to open up to your Chile, and then you have another Chile.
You have a Chile friend,
yes,
and she knows your whole life.
Yes. Now I think for me, if I audit my life, I see it in this sense. Like my Chile, if I'm going, like for example, if I'm hitting on my Chile, there are certain attributes or there are certain factors, certain facts around me that she knows that inanipatia bonga points. In the sense that maybe the place I work, maybe the amount of money I make. She doesn't really know how much, but my position can make her kind of imagine
that,
and assume the amount of money I make.
His earning power is good.
Yes. So, and then there is that, and then there's the physical of maybe the car I drive, or probably I have a bike, and all.
The place you stay.
Yes, the place I stay.
The way you set
the people
it up.
I hang around. So you see, all this information will make her see me in a certain way when I'm hitting on her. And you might not actually know that can also be a contributing factor to make her say yes to you.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
And then
Facts.
when she says yes to you, it gets to a point where you're no longer selling yourself. And because you use these things to sell yourself, you can't go back and recant and say, by the way,
Sio mimi. Sio mimi. Sio mimi bana. Sio
yeah,
mimi.
You can't say it's
Can't take it
sio
back.
mimi, and you can't go and say, mimi ndio manager huko but wanani underpay. It doesn't make sense. So you can't go back and do that. But this other chick, you're willing to do that because you've got nothing to lose. You get what I mean?
I get what
it
you're
makes
saying.
sense.
It makes a lot
This
of sense.
chick, you've got nothing to lose. But your Chile, you've got a lot to lose. There is your reputation.
Yeah.
There is
your man points.
Yes. There's
your squad
gangster points.
Yeah.
Like, there is the, you know.
Whether you'll get laid or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
And actually, we always oversell our partners to people in our circles.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
if I explain to you about my Chile, be 100% sure I've oversold her. Unajua? Because I don't want you to know maybe nimepata deal mbaya, or I don't want you to I don't want you to go thinking umse yenyewe anakaliwa na mama.
Bas, yeah,
so
yeah,
I have
yeah,
to
yeah.
oversell my partner.
Dempoa nini,
Mazee,
nini.
ndio dem tu ameweza nishikilia bro. Kushikilia. Well, interesting.
No, that's good. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Kwanza hizo stories are gangster points. Hey.
Gangster.
But it's true, you'll oversell.
You have
until maybe let's say you're in the setup of like now marriage.
Yes.
Then now you'll be like, kila
Now-
time manza napiga tu kelele.
Yes,
Kila siku ni
yes,
kesi. Mi sitaki udem. Nini.
Yes, exactly.
Ukiwa mimi nikiwa na huyu yako sawa.
Yeah.
Huyu, so now you're talking about your side. Huyu ako sawa.
Yeah.
Huyu, unje tukika naye hatupatangi hatuna story mob.
Hatuna story mob.
Tuko tu sawa, tunaelewana,
Yes,
kuna vile tuna vibe na tuko sawa.
Na mazee
Lakini sasa huyu nikienda nyumbani ni kesi. Au kununua hii, au kuchange bulb. Sijui plumber hajakuja. Ulisema atanunua. Sijaenda kwa market. Rent ndio hiyo sijui nakaribia, landlord nilipatana naye kwa corridor leo na kaniwon that unajua bwanako hajalipa na mnakaa tu kwa nyumba.
It's so interesting. Man.
And imagine the only thing you just have to do is just sit and have conversation. But I think also the ideals that you use when you are getting into the relationship.
Yes.
Quick story I'll give you. There's a guy, I did Man Enough 2016.
Yes.
There's a guy who gave us a story. vile alikatia ex-wife wake,
Yeah.
so the wife at the time,
Yes.
ilikuwa based on where he works, the business he was running, and the fact that everywhere they went, he paid for everything. So the babe got used to that life. So they went from girlfriend, boyfriend
Yes.
to marriage,
Yes.
to getting a child.
Yes.
Then life happened.
Yes.
And when life happened, he lost his job first. Then, not too long after, his business tanked completely. Now, he was trying to look for a job. And every time he kept, he was applying for jobs, he was applying for jobs, he was applying for jobs, but nothing was coming.
Yeah.
So, most times he was at home because, again, now, he feels he also can't hang out with his peers.
Yeah.
Because his peers are working.
Yes.
His peers have
Pressure.
responsibility.
Too much
His
pressure.
peers are getting promotions. His
Yes.
peers have just managed to buy a new car.
It's too depressing.
They've just saved up and bought a house, and many other things.
Yeah.
So he just used to stay home. And now it got to a point where the wife would ask, have you applied for any jobs?
Yeah.
Have you heard back from anyone? Ama umekaa tu.
Yeah.
We kazi yako naona tu ni kukaa na
Kukaa
kuona
tu.
TV. The only thing you can do is unakaa unaona TV. So then, you see, I'm the one who now has to buy things for this
Stuff,
house.
yes.
Now I'm the one who has to chip in for rent. It was
Yeah.
never, this is not what I signed up for.
Yeah.
You're the one who's you're the man. You're meant to
Yes.
take care of all these
Yes,
things.
yes.
Why am I doing these things for
Yeah.
you? You are a failure. Then it got to a point where they went for a dinner one time. And the couple that invited them for dinner was, I think, the guy was in their wedding.
Yeah.
He was a groomsman at their wedding.
Yeah.
And the reason for the invite was to celebrate a promotion he got at work. And then after, congratulations,
Yeah.
well done, you've done so well.
Yeah.
Na huyu hapa tu amekaa tu hakuna hata kazi ako nayo, anakaa tu kwa nyumba, anaona tu TV. And she said it in front of this other couple. So this guy got to a point where he timed, when he knew his wife was just about to come home, because her schedule was very predictable.
Yeah.
He'd go to the local. And he'd only go for 1 or 2 beers, come back home. And he'd rather listen to the complaints when he was at least 2 beers in
Yes.
than when he was completely sober.
Sober.
So this went on for a while.
When you're sober, it cuts so deep.
Cuts so deep.
Yes.
He met a babe at the bar. Pure friendship. Ile tu kuongea, and she started getting to know who he was, what he was about, his life. So he started spending a little bit more time at the bar. But he was not even drinking, by the way.
Yes.
Just because the conversation was great.
Yeah, it's
so
a
this
safe
was his
space.
place for decompressing.
Yeah.
So the babe told him, "Oh, you're not working. Okay, send me your CV to my email. I'll see if I get anyone, I'll send them your way. If I get any job openings, I'll send them your way. You apply, we see." So CV, she networked for him. Then she told him that there's this job opening, apply. I know the guy who runs this company. We'll see what we can do to get you an interview.
Yeah.
He applied, he got an interview, and he did really well. So the guy called her to break the news to him. Before now, the company, of course, officially gave him the email of congratulations, you got the job. And so he got the job, and he just looked at this girl, and he didn't know what to tell her. He just told her, "Man, thanks."
Yeah.
And this is the same girl in this times when they were talking at the
Yeah,
bar and just catching up and stuff.
Yeah.
She one time gave him 10,000 bob. Told him, "Go and shop for your house." She's like, "No, but now if I go and shop, my wife will ask me where I've removed this money from." She's like, No. I don't care for your wife. It's for your child. Your child can't sleep hungry. Go and provide for her.
Yeah.
If your wife makes noise, it's okay. You tell her you got the money from a boy of yours.
Yes.
Don't need to tell her
Find
about
a
me. She
story.
doesn't need to know who I am.
Find a story, yeah.
So he gets the job. And by this time, like his marriage is in shambles.
Yeah.
His wife doesn't want to be touched.
Yes.
They've not slept together for months.
Yeah.
And it was just chaos. So he gets the job. He goes and tells the wife. And is it a real job or an easy job? It's okay. I got the job. So he started working. The earning power came back. Now the wife is, "Oh, babe, darling, babe." But this whole time,
Yes.
he'd never cheated.
Yeah.
He'd never hit her. Like he was He was a man's man.
Yes.
He just went to the life in terms
Yeah.
of the way his was for provide. But you see, he learned that from someone,
Yeah.
a fellow man. So earning power came back. He's now desirable.
Yeah.
He's now wanted. She now wants to sleep with him. She's now dressing up for him before
Yeah,
bed so
yes,
that
yes,
they can sleep together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So now it got him thinking, no, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So he went and talked to a couple of people. Then he landed at Money Enough. And then he realized, oh my God, I'd done this thing wrong the whole time.
Yes.
Like this is not even anything to do with the wife.
Yes. Yes.
I got her accustomed to a life.
Exactly.
And then I told her that
Yeah.
I will always provide this life.
Yes.
And then I got to a point where I could not provide the life.
Yes.
Where we had not had the conversation of what if.
What if? Yeah.
What I
what
sold
if?
her was, it will always happen.
Yes.
Then it didn't happen. So he started thinking. He went home and gave his wife divorce papers.
Bro.
He went home and gave his wife divorce papers. But after a long conversation, before the
Yeah.
divorce papers came
Yes.
on WhatsApp, they had a very long conversation, and he acknowledged where he did things different.
Yes.
But to him, it was a marriage of provision and nothing else.
Yes.
And see, yes, provide.
Yes.
But see, we're in an era where also
Exactly.
you can't provide alone.
Alone.
So imagine you're providing rent,
Yeah.
shopping for the house, internet,
Yes.
fuel, insurance
Yes.
for the car, insurance for health,
Yes.
and many other small,
needs
the
to
house
look
help.
good. She needs
And
to
then you
look
still need to be sane.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you still need to be sane.
Yeah.
You still need to be happy.
Yes.
You still need to come motivated.
No, you also
be
need to be
positive.
you also need to be her therapist.
You need to be her therapist because you
Yes.
need to hear her out
Yeah,
when
yeah.
she's going through stuff.
Yeah.
So it becomes difficult, bro.
Very. And
Very
now you see the what you're talking about, men finding safe spaces in other women,
Yes.
as opposed to them finding safe spaces
In
in
their
their
partners.
women. It's exactly that.
Yeah.
It's exactly that. For me, I always tell guys, don't try to sell yourself to any woman. Don't even try. Even if you have an opportunity to walk to a date, walk to that date.
The date, yes.
Test her demons early enough.
That's true.
You get it? Test her early enough. Bro, don't go around borrowing cars, going to you nampeleka date. Me, I told, there's something I said. Unless maybe it's an emergency and I need to transport somebody in a private car. Heri tupande matatu pamoja.
Yeah.
Wewe ukikutana na mtu ako na kagari uko ndani ya matatu and you feel like that's a safer space, that's fine.
That's
But
true, yeah.
men need to be very vulnerable from the word go. Don't ever sell yourself when it comes to a relationship. That's how you end up with somebody who you'll have conversations with every time.
True.
Every fucking time.
Dating in 30s is different.
Very
Because it's not just about,
Yeah.
oh my God, I saw so and so and they look so hot.
No,
Okay,
yes.
after that,
Yes.
and these days also women now come into it like, okay, after you've seen how I look,
Yes.
do you want to know who I am?
Yes. What next?
What
Like,
next?
What's your
Yeah.
intention?
Like, so
What do
today
you
I
want?
live in, if you want to smash, we'll smash, fine.
Yes, yeah.
Then after that,
Then
what's
after
next?
that, yeah.
You know, so navigating that also now
It's-
is very,
It's
very
it's very tough, and it's actually it's one of the things that we men we've never been prepared to.
No.
Yeah, we've never been prepared to. It's so interesting, dark, and it has to feel lonely though.
Hey.
It has to feel lonely because
It has
chances
to.
are actually when you share your experiences with your boys, they might never understand what you're talking about.
Fact.
They'll be like,
Facts.
"Hey, bro, man." Actually, what they'll do, they'll make fun of you saying umerast.
Yes.
That's how they'll explain it, umerast.
Umerast.
Yet you're just somebody who wants to build something more than
Yeah.
smashing and hanging out and drinking and partying and doing road trips and all that.
Like me, tell me what you think about politics.
Yeah.
Tell me what body insecurities you
Yes,
have.
yes.
I would also like to tell you the
Yeah.
same, you know. Let's chat about light banter. Sometimes let's talk. You know, there's time for deep conversations. There's time for very light conversations. But nonetheless, let's have them.
Yes.
And I think I'm also really trying to do more alone time
Very important.
than this thing of you've invited the person you're interested in to hang out with you and your friends.
No.
you find that it's a distraction, because
It's-
you'll hang out as a group, and chances are people will drink, and after drink you go home, you're like, okay, sir, let's smash. Then after
Yes,
that it's
yes,
okay,
yes.
and then in the morning it's on your phones,
You-
on social media.
Exactly. I think
There's no conversation, nothing.
for me, I keep saying, if people who like all the time hanging around groups are people who will never have an opportunity to know themselves.
Yes, they're always running from themselves.
Yes, there are people who
They're
will never
running
have
for
an
themselves.
opportunity to know
Yes.
themselves.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I advocate people creating relationship in alone. Like, go in it alone. Okay, it's all about you trying to figure out. And then there's this chick I used to see last year, and then the mom told her something very interesting. Sometimes we take relationships very seriously.
Yes.
We are getting to know each other, but we're taking it too seriously, like it's marriage. And then she
you
said,
overshoot it.
Yeah,
You
she
overshoot
said that,
it.
and then it was like a lot of just things, just some marination, and like it made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like right now, we're taking courtships and getting to know each other very, very seriously. Edgar, for crying out loud, you're getting to know somebody. What is so serious about that? It doesn't need to work out. No.
If it does,
if
then
it
well-
does, well and
well and
good.
good.
If it doesn't, well and good.
Yeah.
On to the next. You're getting to know each other.
Yeah.
But now we're getting to know each other. We've already prepared about the wedding. And we're still getting to know each other.
You already know where the church is good. Where
Yeah,
the church
like,
is going
man,
to be.
hey, you would make cute
You know,
babies.
yeah. You already thought about babies. You already know what the firstborn, secondborn are going to be called.
Yeah.
Man.
And,
no, no, no.
actually-
you already know how you're going to set up your home.
True.
Aye. But
You
it's true. We remove the element of fun in just getting to know each
Yes,
other.
in just getting to know each other.
We're too serious about it, and we I mean, I get the other side of things is that
Yeah.
people don't want a situation where you get someone who's going to play games with you.
True.
And I get that. And you know, in the beginning, yes, you could just shoot it with, I actually genuinely just want to get to know you.
Yeah.
It's not just about the casual stuff.
Yeah.
You know? So fine. Then you get into that space of conversating and
Yes.
talking and
Yes.
hanging out and hanging out alone, hanging out with people.
people.
You going to their circle of
Yeah,
friends,
yeah.
them coming to your
To
circle,
your
of
circle of
friends,
friends, yes.
and then getting to see, okay, how is that for the both of you, you
Yeah.
know, and then just work it out slowly.
Slowly
When you
by
notice one or
slowly.
two things here and there, talk about them.
Yes, talk about them.
Talk about them so that they don't. It also don't suppress a lot of stuff.
No.
Then one day they press the
Everything,
toothpaste
yes.
in the middle,
Yeah.
and then you pop off.
Pop off.
How can you be pressing the toothpaste from the middle? What's wrong with you? I press it from the end. Then you realize all this is just because of
It's just because
past
yes,
situations.
yes, like so many emotions that have been bottled up over a period of time. What did I want to say? I wanted to say something, I forgot. And I think also getting to know each other, it comes with you getting to also know and understand what this person stands for. And if you guys don't click from the word go, you also need to understand why it's not clicking from the word go.
Yeah.
There are people who you'll see red flags from the word go. For me, I keep telling people, if you see red flags and you're really interested in this person, don't run away.
Address them.
Address them.
Yes.
If they do nothing about it, then my brother, my sister, run away.
Now
Now you
run.
can run
Now
away.
run. You've been given the signal. Now run.
Because I know you really don't know which environments people are coming from. There are people who come from environments who they've never been told anything. They've been allowed to be who they are without really caring. They don't have a bigger brother, that bigger sister who can tell them don't do A, B, and C.
No consequence.
And
no
yes, no consequence at all. And it doesn't mean that they can't change. They are willing from inside, but they've never had that space. So you addressing red flags from the word go gives them that opportunity to be like, oh,
I never saw it like that.
I never saw it like that. Thank you for bringing it up. I will work on it.
Yes.
And then you build it from the word go.
So also reception of when you are being told something that's very important that has been observed, and especially if you're being told these things from a place of love, place of grace, place of respect, then you can take in that information as you said. Like, I hear what you're saying. I will look into it. I'll see what to do, and then of course go back to your partner with, okay, you told me something, or you shared something with me the other day, or the other week. I've given it some thought. So now that way there's engagement.
Yes, exactly.
There's intentionality. Yes, you're told something, you thought about it, and you
take time. For me, I'm okay my partner taking as much time as they want, as long as there is the effort. They're putting in the effort. Even if it takes 2, 3, 4 months, it's okay. You're putting in the effort. And also one thing I discovered, one thing that I've learned, for me actually, right now I'm in the learning phase. One thing I've learned is you have to create that environment and that certain time and feeling for you to have a conversation.
Yes.
You can't be in a playful mood and then you demand a conversation. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't work like that.
Yes. So you have to be very intentional with those moments, especially times when you want to talk about a serious thing, times when you want to address something that is bothering you, times that you want to bring something up that is actually a concern for both of you. You need to be very, very intentional. And then you need to bring her down, sit down, like, I would like us to talk about this. Don't attack anyone.
Nope.
Bring it to the table, allow each party to talk about it.
Exactly.
Yes. People have different opinions. You really don't know. Like for me, I'm just in a space where I'm trading grace every day. Like I really don't know where people are coming from. And it doesn't mean when they are harsh and ugly and annoying from the word go, that's who they are inside. No.
Maybe just a bad day.
Yes, maybe it's just a bad day.
It's just a bad
or
day.
Maybe it's a bad week. It can be a bad week. It can be a bad month. You really don't know. People need the grace to actually be allowed. And if it doesn't work, you'll know it doesn't work.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in terms of men respecting women, like I was saying, we are in a space where a lot is happening.
True.
A lot is happening in the world.
Yeah.
And what it's just teaching us is we have to keep talking. We have to keep open. We have to open the floor to conversation at any time.
Communication.
It could literally be that I've come for, a tire alignment.
Yeah.
And I meet someone.
Yes.
And that's where we'll have that conversation.
True.
So it doesn't have to be a formal
arrangement.
It could be very informal where we just sit and we're like, okay, you know what? We're here. Let's have a conversation.
True.
I did this with a buddy of mine some time back, last year.
Yeah.
I was at a couch. Then there's a cafe within the couch. And he found me at the cafe.
Yes.
And we sat and we talked for 4 hours. And we talked about anything, everything. We talked about his marriage. We talked about how he grew up, how I grew up.
Yeah.
Relationships I've been in, how those have been, relationship with my parents, my sibling, and stuff like that. And he did the same. And for me, that was something that I took home and was able to, actually he taught me a lot about just how to relate with women. Because he has a wife, he has 2 boys, and just how that relationship started versus how it ended. Ended in terms of them getting married and them getting kids and all that. Man, the way it started, I didn't expect them to get married, for sure. Like the way it started, it was just chaos. It was madness. But somehow there was still love and respect. But there was also, I think, an element of where they needed to do a lot of growing up.
Yeah.
So in the growing up that they did separately. Some of it they did together, but it brought them together, and they now just have such an amazing relationship with each other. It doesn't mean they don't have down times, but the down times, he's one guy who I like, first of all, how he addresses his wife.
Yeah.
It's something to really admire.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do it for gangster points. He just does it because that's just who that guy is.
Yes, yeah.
It's just who that guy is.
Yeah.
He just sees his wife, and there's a way he addresses her. Private, public.
Yes.
It's the same thing. It's the same energy.
Yeah.
In all settings. True, then you see how she looks at him when she's spoken to in a certain way, and you're like, oh, okay, wow, like there's something here.
There's
you
some
know?
chemistry
There's
here.
some chemistry
There's
here.
something beautiful here.
Yeah, and these are guys who've, I think, been together maybe 11, 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 11, 12 years, and he's only what? I think he's 36.
Wow.
Yeah, so
they
these are guys who've been
started
together
from their
long.
20s.
Yeah, so this is inclusive of them dating and then them being married. This is like 12 years of them just being together and with each other, you know. So we women just there's a duty to call.
Yes.
And the duty to call it's been there for a long time. But I think now the voices have gotten louder.
Yeah.
They can't go ignored.
Yeah.
We have a duty to call to talk also amongst us men.
Amongst
when
ourselves.
we're relating with women.
Ourselves.
You know, when you know your friend has, you know, the stories about your friend talking or dealing with women a certain way.
Yeah.
Rather than going and ridiculing that man, I think it's okay, you know, hey, so and so, I've had A, B, C, D, but where does this come from? Because all this comes from somewhere.
Yes.
You know, it's not imagined. It's not something you are born with. It's not in your genes. It's just something that you are conditioned either through a person, a thing, or an environment. So let's go and find out what happened, because you find a lot of people will be there when you're celebrating your wins.
True.
Or when you're having a bad day, they disappear.
People, exactly.
They're mteja, and
they're busy at work.
They are busy at work. I'm in a meeting. You know,
they're in a meeting the whole day.
I'm in a meeting. I'll call you back. Acha tu.
Yeah.
Nakupige tu sahi
minutes.
tu. Just give me 10 minutes. I'm calling you back. I'm finishing up something. And then this thing is never finished. It's 3 months later.
It's so important.
Yeah.
Like for me, I even don't know how to insist this enough. Like, I'm in a space where I really don't know how to connect with you when we can't have a conversation. And a conversation has to be something deeper than, hi, how are you doing, uko poa, fiti. No, we need to talk about real stuff. We need to talk about, okay, how are you feeling, man? How is life? Like, for me, I keep saying, I can't say I'm your friend if I really don't know what your struggle is.
Yes.
If I really don't know where you come from. If I really don't know one or two people from your circle. If I really don't know, if you disappear tomorrow, where to find you. If I don't have information about you, information that matters,
really
your
friends?
struggles, the things that you feel, man, at your space of work, what is your struggle there? In your circle of friends, who's your buddy? Okay, you have these are all your friends, but who is that one guy that you'll always hang around? Like, I need to have this information. I need to really understand what are the things that make you tick. What are the things that excite you? What are the things that actually send you to a bad place? I need to have this information. If I don't have this information about you, bro, I can't claim I'm your friend.
No.
We know each other, but we are not friends.
No.
And it's so interesting. Like, right now, I'm happy. I'm in a good space. I'm happy. I'm enjoying my work. I'm loving it. My job gives me the opportunity to meet people from different spaces, people who think differently, different worlds, totally different. And then you get to interact with people, and you just get to see, like, what really happens, like, what it's expected of you, especially for you as a man, if you're in a position of power. Like, there's a lot of toxicity that just comes from you being in that space. You get it? Like, people who are your junior have gone through bad times with their seniors in the past.
Yes.
They expect that from you.
Like, it's almost automatic.
It's always automatic.
And then when you
like,
come and treat them right,
yes,
they're caught off guard.
Yes,
And like,
yes,
I didn't expect this from you,
yeah.
but you know, now you also have to go through the thing of, okay,
Exactly.
so what was your past experience like?
Yes.
What did you go through? Then for you to now come and reintroduce yourself and say, I know there's that culture, and I'm sorry for what happened.
What happened in
but
the past.
now moving forward, I, as you know, your so-called senior.
Yes, exactly. You are a human first.
You're a human.
You are a human first.
You're a human.
Before, whether you are a junior, you are a human being first. So I have to treat you as a human being first, before I even introduce, you need to do A, B, and C in this office.
Everything else second.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like one of the biggest problems that we have in our society currently, the men in power, they don't treat other human beings as human beings first. They only treat other human beings as human beings when it's convenient to them and for them.
Oh yeah, to them and for them.
Yes, all these other times they treat you the way it's convenient for them.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So I think for me, connection and communication is very, very important
and communication.
For a man.
For a man,
Yeah.
connection, communication,
Yeah.
and yes, and this is to be done with, especially amongst fellow men, man.
Yes.
Especially amongst fellow men,
Yeah.
we need to, other than me and you sitting
Yes.
down, in the hood,
Yeah.
chewing mirror,
Yeah.
drinking whatever we're drinking,
Yes.
and just I think even when we are playing, like like you go to like low settlement areas,
Yes,
when you
yes.
see guys playing drafts,
Yeah.
playing pool,
Yeah.
and they're sitting and talking about politics.
Yes.
I wish people could have that mad passion in just talking about themselves.
About themselves.
Because with politics
The struggle.
doesn't really help you.
Yes.
It doesn't help. It's just it's a topic that creates a lot of animosity.
Yeah.
It creates a lot of first it creates a lot of conversation, but it with the politics that we have like in our country,
Yeah.
it tends to create more people getting more upset, more sad, more,
Than happy. Yeah.
and saying that okay, I like that these guys have done what they've done for me because I see the leaders are really looking out for me.
Yes.
But now imagine, you see, because we've been, the normal slogan since the days for Moi, naomba serikali. Every time
We are always
the common
begging.
mwananchi was
Yes.
interviewed,
Yeah.
naomba serikali tusaidie na barabara.
It's so true.
Naomba serikali tusaidie na kazi.
Every
Naomba
time-
serikali
every time
tusaidie
I'm-
na shamba na
ev-
tupate chakula.
Yes, every time I'm at the gym, there's always news playing, and that's always the case.
There you go.
Naomba, everybody.
Now imagine if we just did content like what we have
Yes,
right now.
yes.
Imagine if that's what we had like on mainstream media.
Yes.
Because our mainstream media has really it's become toxic.
Mainstream media has to subscribe to what the society is.
There you go.
Mainstream media doesn't have the power and the choice to decide what it can be.
It's the
It has to
society.
subscribe to what the society
Yes,
is.
yes.
And if the society is toxic, that's what mainstream media will
mainstream
be.
media will be. So we blame
if the
the
society
media.
is petty,
Yeah. So you can
mainstream
blame
media-
the media, but it's us.
It's us.
It's us.
Mainstream media doesn't have the power. It doesn't have the choice. Mainstream media has to pick from the society.
Yeah.
So what you see in the mainstream media is actually us.
It's us.
Yeah,
It's
you
a
can't-
reflection of us.
it's a
That's true.
reflection of us.
They're the same way they say with our leadership.
Yes.
It's a reflection. It's a reflection.
It's a
of
reflection
us.
of
Like we'll
us.
keep cussing out at the leaders, but it's us who put.
We
them
keep
there.
we talk too much. We
Yeah.
do less.
We do less.
The
That's
important things that we're supposed to be doing is what we are not doing. But the things which we're supposed to be spending little time doing is what we spend like 90 or 100% of our time doing. Just talking and making noise for nothing.
And I think also a lot of people do very little listening.
Yeah.
We're always trying to prove that we know, rather than us guys
Oh, man.
listening. We're always trying to prove that we know. You, Bill, you don't know. Me, let me tell you.
Yes.
Rather than, no, Bill is saying something. What is he saying?
We-
Tell me. Let me
we-
take it in.
Yeah.
Then let me also give another opinion.
Another
Then,
opinion.
you see, both of us have spoken.
Yes.
Both of us have given opinions.
Yeah.
Whether we agree or disagree doesn't
Yes.
really matter, but we've had the avenue to talk it out.
Yes.
But we're always like, no, you believe, you wait, let me tell you.
We don't have conversation, we talk.
We talk.
When two
We don't
people
have-
talk, you don't listen.
don't listen.
But when you're having a conversation, you're actually giving this person your ear.
There
You're
you go.
trying to pay attention to what they're saying. Does it make sense? If it doesn't make sense. If two human beings who don't know much can have a conversation, if you give them 2-3 months, in a span of 2-3 months, they'll have known a lot.
Oh, yeah.
If they have conversation,
If they
because
have
they're
conversation.
willing to listen to each other
Yeah.
and discover that both of them don't know, they can go out and figure and then come back, and then grow on what they
deliberate
already
again
have.
and be like, I didn't know, but I took
Yes,
the
yes,
initiative to go and
yes.
find out.
Yeah.
And this is what I found out.
Yes.
And and you get to know these things. So, and then you bring in things like men and how we interact on social media.
Yeah.
It's chaotic.
I think
I mean, that's a conversation, of course, for another day.
for
but
another day, yeah.
But we there's also a lack of respect amongst men for each other.
Very.
There's a big.
Yeah.
That's a big lack in respect amongst men. Even before we get to women, just amongst men.
Man to man.
Especially when you get to situations where you feel you are superior.
Yeah.
You feel like
Space
because
of
of your position,
Yes.
you
Spaces of
men
power.
in spaces of power. It's a whole other thing, because usually when you get to see the ugly,
Yeah.
the good, bad, and ugly. So there's something I read maybe a month and a half ago that you for human beings generally,
Yeah.
you get to know someone's true personality when they move from one extreme to another. So to give context, it's, let's say someone was, poor or not that well off.
Yeah.
And then they get to the point where now they move to the other side.
Now they're well off.
The personality you see when they're well off, that's who they really were.
True.
And vice versa.
True.
If you are really well off, and let's say now like COVID came,
Yeah.
COVID took away a lot of
A lot of-
livelihoods.
yes.
People lost businesses, people
Yes.
lost work.
Yes.
So that meant they lost income. Now the personality that they have when they are now down there, that's who they really are.
Bro, that's so true, man.
That's
That
who they really are.
is so true. You have to. A human being has to go through both extremes to actually. You need to see them go through both extremes to actually know. Like for me, it's so true. There are people who we used to have something to talk about, hang out, or excuses to do things together. But right now, I can't even have a conversation with them.
There you go.
And you're like,
You look at guys in, let's say, in influential spaces, let's say like in the entertainment industry.
yeah,
You find that you know their story.
Yeah.
You know where they came from. You know how they hustled to get
Yes.
to where they are
yes,
now.
yeah,
But now when they're in the spotlight, where there's cameras everywhere, there's Instagram stories and Instagram lives and
we're always
reels.
looking for points.
They're always looking for points. And you keep you're like, but I remember this guy's story.
Yeah,
Especially like the men.
Yes.
Oh my God. The guys who, let's say, whether they're artists, whether they are radio presenters, whether they're now become influencers of sorts.
yes,
When they were still coming up,
yes.
or trying to come up, or looking for that one opportunity so that they can start coming up,
breakthrough, yeah.
they were humble.
Yes.
They talked very,
They
were
used,
very
they
chill.
used to say hi.
They had time for you. They used to say
Yeah,
hi.
yeah.
They used to spend 2-3 minutes asking
True.
how you are.
Yeah.
Outside pleasantries, how are you really
How are you
doing?
doing?
Then they made it.
Yeah.
I'm in a meeting. The attitude has changed. They don't pick up your calls. And you're not even asking them for money.
Anything.
You're just like, I just want you. You, just
Your
you.
time.
Your
Little
time.
bit of your
That's
time.
it. Just a bit of your time. I mean, I know you're busy, and I'm not saying that we'll hang out 7 days a week.
Yeah.
It's when you'll have time more than half time. Because, I mean, that's what adulting is like. You get to a point where priorities change, so you don't have the same amount of time to accord to so many
exactly.
things. But how you treat that little time that someone is asking for really, really matters.
It's
I mean,
so
if you look at
true.
our industry, it's
And
things
bro,
have happened, Bana.
I keep saying this. Women empower each other. Women empower each other.
They do.
Men, we don't empower each other.
We break each other.
We break each other. And we are actually currently in a space where we feel like women are now taking over these spaces that men used to assume. And now we are complaining. No, men are not working as a team. Like, for me, I have a big struggle, especially with men. Like, if, for example, you're trying to also look for an avenue. Like, hakuna mtu amefika. You're trying to look for a space. You're trying to ask this guy, man, I'm trying to pitch this proposal. Can you try and help? And then just because there's a probability of you getting that chance, that guy will treat you like...
It's true.
Like an enemy.
Yeah. He'll make you part with the last coin that you have before you get the big break.
Yes.
And I don't understand, like, we don't empower each other. We don't
No,
want
we
to
don't.
support one another.
We don't.
And I'm like, and it's for example, you've come to my office,
Yeah.
and I know for sure I am literally the go in between
Yes.
you and your big break.
Yes.
And then I still want to come and ask you for a cut.
For a cut. And you know the funny thing
Doesn't
is
make sense.
you might be the actually link between me and the opportunity, and it has got nothing to do with you. It doesn't affect you in any way. But
none
still,
whatsoever.
you won't be willing to give it to me
There
just
you go.
like that.
None whatsoever. I'll spin it off the other way before you finish. There is especially like I think with guys in our dad's generations, there's certain situations where you find that your mom or your dad is someone influential in one way or another.
Yes.
Doesn't have to necessarily be politics, but it could even be in the corporate world, it could be in the business world.
Yeah.
But they will not build and empower their sons, but they'll go and empower the other men out there who will give them the gangster points, so to speak. You know. So your son is there, has education to back him up, has the will to want to work, has the capacity to sit and take in all this information and actually do something with it so that they can, start creating a career for themselves.
Yeah.
But when you go and ask for this help, it's okay, I'll do it. And then they never do it. But you hear how the same father figure
are saving lives out there.
They're saving lives. People are telling you, your father is the guy, man. Your father is my hero. Your father
let me tell you one thing.
Is this and that.
We need to come back here and talk about men and their ego. That is basically a man and their ego. A man will do anything that will satisfy their ego.
Yes.
For them, as long as their ego is their priority, family will always come last.
Yes.
Family will
where
always
their
come
egos
last.
are props. Family
as
will
long
always
as
come
as long as their ego is their priority, they will go out there and do things that will make their ego inflate. Their family will always come last.
Yes.
And to them, actually, in that man, it's not that man is a bad man or he doesn't really care about you. No, he cares about you. But he just have misplaced priority.
Yes.
There's the ego. And I think one of the biggest things that actually affects or kills us men is the ego. The ego. The things that we do for the ego, bro.
We'll do anything.
Yeah. Do you have something to add to the ideal man? Or I can add one or two.
I'm good.
Okay, go on.
No, I'm good.
Okay, you're good. So for me, I think the ideal man, just to add on what you've said, the ideal man should be a man who's also willing to go out there, should be willing to go out there and do something for himself.
Yes.
Yeah. You should be willing to go out there, maybe get a job or do something to make sure you put food on your table. Do something to make sure you grow. Go to school, could be go out there, fanya mjengo. You need to be willing to do something. Even if it's just go to wash somebody's car, you need to be willing to do something that will improve you as a man.
That's true.
And then they need to provide and protect for their family, their circles, and the people they care about.
Yeah.
How can you provide? You can provide by using the resources.
Yes.
Either, for example, I have a car, I own a company, I own something. That's the resources. That resource can connect me to other people. For example, if you are my younger bro and I have a business, and that business gave me an opportunity to meet with person X, and person X can be an opportunity to you. You see, my resources is bringing you closer to an opportunity. I'm providing for you. I'm not giving you money. You get it?
But I'm
providing for you using the resources.
Yeah.
That is one. And then I can provide for you directly by giving you money. And then I can also provide, for example, if I have a family, in the sense that either I have a wife and kid or a partner and kid, I need to provide for them by giving them a safe space to grow and exist.
Yes.
A safe space could be a home. It could be a home that you pay rent. It could be a home that you've built. But it needs to be a safe space. Safe for them physically and mentally.
Yeah.
That is providing. Protecting can come as a sense of having that home.
Yes.
Make sure it's in a safer environment that protects them.
Yeah.
And then protecting could be also just being the bigger brother. Like, for example, something happens to somebody or probably your friend or something, just being there to protect. You can protect somebody by giving them information. You get it? Inform them, educate them. You're informing them. You're protecting them from something that can happen in future.
Yes.
You can, for example, if I've gone to, if I've attended 100 job interviews,
Yes.
and my younger cousin is attending his or her first interview, I can provide and protect that person from a lot of ibundogondogo by
telling them what the interview process is
so
like.
you provide and protect.
Yes.
And then another big thing for me is a man who keeps their word. You know what I mean? Like, for me, honestly, I don't think there's a man who keeps their word 100%, but you need to at least give 80.
Yes.
Yes. If you say you're gonna do something,
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Even if you're not ready to do it when you said you're not, when you at a time you specified you'll do it, you can push it further.
That's true.
But you need to be a man of your word. And then I think, lastly, ideally for me, a man should be somebody who's willing to be vulnerable. Because if you can have all these aspects and then the vulnerability lacks, there is just a lot that is actually suffering. Like, if you are in a relationship with somebody who you are not vulnerable to,
Yes.
you're setting both of you up
For failure.
for failure.
That's true.
Yes, so you need to be vulnerable to your partner. You need to be vulnerable to your kids. You need to be vulnerable to your circle, your friends. You need to be vulnerable to your folks. Like, for me, I have friends who they tell me, unajua mzee akinipigia siwezi mwambia sina. I'm like, because you've not been vulnerable with your dad. You've not been vulnerable with your folks. You've not created a relationship where you can tell them no and they accept.
Yes, they accept
So
it,
I feel like vulnerability is so crucial for a man out there to survive. It's just, it eases a lot of pressure.
It does.
Too much pressure that we carry so much.
We carry so much, and that
by
we can,
just being macho.
and we can avoid.
We can avoid it.
Then live a more wholesome life.
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the last thing I can add on the ideal man.
Okay.
Yeah. This was good.
It was good.
You had fun?
It was good.
Awesome, man.
It was good.
So, thank you so much, Edgar, for coming. I think we'll have a series of, because I feel like there's so much we can talk about. We were supposed to talk about mental health. We didn't have the time. Yeah. And
Then
then also,
sobriety.
and then also when you're talking about dating in the 30s. I think that's a good topic.
That's a good topic.
Yes.
Dating in the 30s.
Yes, so there is so much
different.
that we will come back and actually have to cover. So
Yeah.
this has been the Naked Ego Podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.